The reigning World Fisher Random Chess Champion, Hikaru Nakamura, took on the previous champion, Wesley So, in the semifinals of the Chess.com Global Chess Championship. These titans of US chess are two of the most difficult chess players to beat in the world, and they each proved their resilience over the board with a pair of accurately played draws to open the match.
And if Black plays one more natural move, King to... Oh, okay. It didn't happen, but there were some ways for Black to get in trouble, but Bishop F8, draw, and that's exactly what we expected.
Don't worry, you'll never get in trouble for talking chess, but these two players, they have no distance between them. No separation can be found in this matchup. Slight advantages for Wesley in Game 1, Hikaru in Game 2, but we have two draws. The players walk away from the playing hall, get a little bit of rest.
Things heated up in a marathon fight in Game 3. In an even night endgame, Nakamura had slightly more chances to press So, and he leveraged every opportunity available. The game was dead equal until after move 100, when So finally cracked and allowed Hikaru to win a pawn.
Knight G7, he's blundered it.
Uh-oh.
He's blundered it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
He's blundered it, but it's still probably a draw.
Oh my gosh.
This is insane.
Hikaru was ready to snap up his well-earned point, but then So's king activated and posed real problems. With an error on move 119, Hikaru returned the pawn and the position reverted to equality.
B5. Whoa.
Now Knight D2.
But now Knight D2.
Knight D2 and Knight F1 check is an immediate draw, but will Wesley find it? He's got 18 seconds.
Plays Knight E3.
Yeah, that's a draw. Knight takes G4 is possible.
The game ultimately lasted an insane 134 moves before peace was finally forced with a repetition.
Okay, but like this game, as they draw for the third time, really does kind of show that you can work that hard, you can still make a draw. 1.5, 1.5. Both players not even leaving the chairs. Wesley's like, I can't believe I just played 2 games in 1.
I can't believe it either. You can see the frustration as Hikaru pulls his headphones off. He has incredibly high standards for himself. He was expecting himself to win that endgame.
Yeah?
Probably from the very beginning.
Having suffered for so long in Game 3, one might have expected So to be less ambitious in the final game of the day, but he came out strong, quickly claiming a major edge out of the opening and eventually expanding with F4.
I don't think he's happy though.
He's not bobbing his head any longer. You can see the sort of consternation on his face. I mean, both players are just locked in concentration.
Hikaru made the radical decision to sacrifice the exchange, and while Stockfish did not like it and believed So was winning, Hikaru's position was very hard to break down. With the excellent moves 37, Knight to F3, and then 44, Rook takes B4, Hikaru forced a repetition, and day 1 concluded with the match still deadlocked.
A draw is agreed by repetition.
Oh.
What a game!
What a game.
What,
yeah.
Again, we have 2 draws.
I know, we were calculating some crazy stuff with Knight to F3.
Yeah, because if you take it, then the queen captures and forks the rooks.
Yeah, we were calculating this.
Solid draws began day 2 in games 5 and 6, and they set up a massive game 7 as Hikaru pushed hard to leverage his last game with the white pieces. So sacked a pawn, but he got the bishop pair in a very open position. Anything could happen. As time trouble set in, So turned the advantage to his side of the board, pushing Hikaru to sacrifice an exchange out of clear discomfort.
And he goes for a sacrifice, and I think that speaks to the fact he was not enjoying his position.
As does like his body language.
Hikaru began shaking his head, and he only increased the head shakes as the game progressed. Hikaru is famously good with the knights, and he performed magic with them as he even sacrificed a rook for a moment to eliminate So's passed F pawn. But So claimed a new passed A pawn in return.
And I don't know how to evaluate this position. He's going to have a passed A pawn. This has to be winning him on.
Yeah, my instincts say this has got to be winning. He's got a pass pawn that the king cannot touch, right? The knight has to bring itself to the B file and act as a shield so the king can walk over.
After some thought, Hikaru resigned. With 1 game remaining, Wesley So now had the first lead of the match.
He resigns and Wesley wins with
resignation.
black.
And I mean, this is probably dead in the water, but that was still an early resignation for me. We know how resilient he is.
94. Actually, I think Hikaru missed that he could go 94. We're going to wait and watch the reactions on camera.
Yeah.
I think Hikaru could have continued the fight there.
Needing to win with black, Hikaru attempted an unorthodox King's Indian setup, but So responded with the excellent 6e5 and 8g4, accepting the challenge with these pawn thrusts and playing for a draw from a position of great strength.
E6 may be still available, but look, that knight is getting permanently trapped on the side of the board with G4.
And that is such a thematic, that's just a nasty move to face. It covers the F5 square.
So was in fact close to a win on move 24 when he went for the flashy rook to d8. This move won Hikaru's queen, but it also gave Hikaru the best position he had had in the entire game.
Exactly. Do not...
Whoa!
Whoa. Rook to d8.
Oh my god, what a move!
What a move. I don't know how good that is, but I'll tell you, I love the look of it, Daniel. That is just a flashy move.
It is, but it's not good. It is, but it's not
flashy.
good. He wins the queen. That was the idea, to follow up with knight c6. He could have also started with knight c6. Would have been the same exact thing. He's won the queen, but Hikaru has a rook and a knight. He's gotten the knight onto c5, and he's entrenched it on that square.
It's a great knight.
In a few moves, Hikaru even had the better practical position, and he began to apply pressure, using every second on the clock and every maneuver to his advantage.
Rook to e7, defending it, it just doesn't feel comfortable.
The way Wesley has used his queen to attack Hikaru's pawns has been so impressive. I'd also point to the move bishop d5.
Yep.
That could combine with queen g8 and just win the game outright.
That's right. Bishop c6, queen g8 also might tie black down the defense of that knight on e8 so much that you just can't move in order to win.
Yeah, and bishop e5, Hikaru again, he's trying to find that arrangement where he's defending everything and exerting pressure on Wesley's position. But that's such a tall order. I feel like you can do one or the other, but can he find a way to do both?
Moves are going to be coming in rapid fire here, as this is the mark of a strong player. Can you coordinate 3 pieces that are often hanging all at once?
And they are hanging. Wesley brings his bishop back to d3, his king all the way back to d1. Hikaru keeps trying. I think he's making some progress.
Yeah.
Now the knight moves to d5. Amon, there's so many forks here.
Get the queen and king.
Get it out of there.
In like a
6 seconds.
Yeah, get them far away from each other. We need a long-term relationship.
2 seconds. Here. Bishop e4. He's got to move. Oh my god.
Queen down to c8 or something? What's going on here? Knight f4, knight e3. I'm so scared of a fork here.
And with 4 seconds, this is the worst case scenario by Wesley, and it's coincided with the peak of activity of Hikaru's pieces. Bishop f6.
This is exactly where he wants the game. In a time scramble, 4 seconds for Wesley.
And he's got 20. He's got enough time to figure out a tactic or a fork. 20 seconds for Hikaru is 5 hours for somebody else. The king's zigzagging and meandering its way between black's pieces and chasing the knight away from c3.
That's right. If it goes back to d5, we might see maybe bishop c4. It takes the pawn. I'm not sure about that decision.
Because now the queen's going to go to c6, and if you lose the c7 pawn, you basically lose your winning chances.
That's right. We could see bishop to g5.
King c2, only move.
Yep. You want to be far away from a knight check, so diagonal is great.
Now queen c6 runs into rook c5, so maybe slide the queen all the way over to a8, and he does.
Queen g8 is a kind of a backdoor move.
Instead, he backdoors it to c6. The knight moves back to d7. Again, rook c5 is a huge problem. Wesley might have to move his king.
No, this is getting very good for Hikaru. He might even try bishop to e5 to defend c7.
Hikaru just keeping the tension and keeping the tension. He's got 50 moves before the 50 move rule comes into effect. That's what he wants, but he's lost the f7 pawn.
That was not as planned. Bishop e6.
Oh, no. This might signify the end of Hikaru's winning chances.
Knight to e5. Is he not getting mated there?
And the king sliding back to b1. Look how expertly, how deftly Wesley sidesteps all the forks, and now the knight as passive as it's ever been.
And be careful not to lose your rook to a fork.
Oh, bishop c6 is coming. Now Wesley might flat out be playing for a win.
Yep, that's right. But he doesn't even need a win. Trust me, if there's a draw on the table, Daniel, his hand is extending.
Grabbing that.
Yeah.
1 second now for Hikaru. He's just trying to prevent
queen c4, the rook! The rook has been hung by Hikaru, and he's up, and he is out of the playing hall.
Oh my god, what a finale.
Oh my goodness, that was the end of his chances there. He needed that rook, but so hard to keep it, Daniel, with the queen having checks all over the open board.
Hikaru did everything within his power and everything not within his power. The fact that he got this to a time scramble has the incredulous smile of relief by Wesley So.
So advances to the CGC finals, where he will play Nihao Sarin for the $200,000 first place prize. As a bonus prize, So leapfrogged Hikaru in the FIDE Rapid ratings, and he is now ranked 4th in the world.